Welcome to More Love, More Life podcast. Today, we're interviewing Stacey Harper. He wrote the book, Cocaine Chef. He's going to tell us about his life and what this book is. He's going to give us a summary. Talk to me, bro.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. That's the first thing I want to do. I appreciate you, brothers, for having me and being on a positive platform.
Yes, sir.
So I wrote the book. It took me like 2 years to write it.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to make sure I got my story out because I'd like to give back, and help people. And I think my story resonates with positivity, even though it has the name has a negative connotation, but it's really a book about resilience and second chances.
I'm glad you said that, bro. Because just reading that name, I thought it was all negativity.
Yeah, I know. I said I got to call him, man, and explain to him that it's about the journey.
Okay.
Because during the journey, it's not like the place that you end up. It's how you got there.
I got you.
And, even though, okay, I was into that life, but here I am now.
Right.
And I'm doing a lot of positive things matter of fact, to me, just going through the initial process of being arrested and you facing this and all that, I was reformed.
Wow.
To be honest with you, because I didn't know, you go into it with a lot of ignorance.
Right.
Of what the repercussions are.
Mm-hmm.
But just going through the process, I was really reformed because I was like, man, this is because, being a winner, being in the game and everything you do, you win, and when I got in that situation, it was like, there's no winning.
In that system.
In the system. There's no winning in that system. I'm going to tell everybody that. When you get in that system, your friends, your crew, and everybody you think you got love, that all goes away. You all by yourself.
Oh, they disappeared?
They disappeared.
Nobody taking care of you? Nobody reaching out?
Well, some people. I can't say nobody.
But the majority.
But you help so many people on your journey
Mm-hmm.
that you feel like all of these people would have your back.
Right.
And you find out that no.
But let me ask you, when you're speaking of your journey, you speaking of your journey in the game?
In journey in life,
Okay.
basically.
Well, tell me about your journey in the game. How did you get involved in that?
That's an excellent question, really, because I grew up being a Muslim. I had a carpet cleaning business when I was 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And but I'm in the neighborhood. I grew up in 30s, the Harlem, around the street from Dinker Park. And a guy used to come around, that was balling, that was our friend, take us skating, sometimes take us up to the mall, and Farouk, and buy everybody clothes. And just riding with him and seeing him make that money, and I was like, man, I needed, a piece of this right here. And, being in business early in the game, because I didn't want to, the only jobs for black people in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s was, the fast food industry.
Right.
It was menial labor, and without an education, I had aspirations for more.
Mm.
Some people, they could settle for mediocrity, but early on in my life, personally, I knew I was more than average.
Okay.
And I aspired for, a lot more.
So you seen the game as a way to catapult you there?
Without question. And I thought, initially I was like, man, I'm just going to get in, get enough money to get my business right, and get out. I always was trying to get out.
Like everybody.
Like everybody else. And movies like, Scarface and The Godfather, those were inspirational movies, to young black people in the hood.
Right.
Well,
let me say, for you to say that, now do you realize those movies is trapping us?
Without question, they was trapping us. That lure and that the lifestyle, I would say that the movies plus living in LA, all of that, because see, we've lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Dayton, Ohio. My family, we traveled.
Mm.
and seeing different cultures and stuff. And when I got back here, man, it's all about the money and the show and, everything. You can't even get a girlfriend, especially even back then, unless you had that greenback.
Right,
You understand
right.
what I'm saying? They don't care what you look like. You could be the finest thing in the world, but you ain't got no cash. You can't get none.
Right. I got you, brother. I got you. Nothing you can do for
There's
it.
nothing you could do. So, I was like, I'm going to use this like the Kennedys did. Because, I always love history. And I found that a lot of successful white people started off, they was in the bootleg game. The Kennedys did bootleg. That's where they get they riches
Right.
from. I mean, most of the people already know that. So I figured I was going to try to follow that same route and turn the money into legitimate money, and help people. That's what I thought I was going to do.
Did your journey get you there? Well, tell me about the journey. Let's go into the journey because I see in the book you came from a good family, it seemed like. You got into the game. So give me more of you being in that game. What did you see? The corruption, because that game brings evil. We get into the game looking for a way out, but we don't realize what comes with it. That's a monster.
Yeah.
It may feed you here, it may feed you good, but we're not seeing that demon that's hiding behind that white rock.
Yeah. Okay, well, you know what? See, I entered the game when there was no crack houses. As a matter of fact, you probably didn't know too many people who sold cocaine or even used cocaine. So my clientele was kind of high echelon people. I would deliver. I actually watched the crack houses open and all that, but I never got involved. I'm telling you, I'm suit and tie every day. I'm making my deliveries at night with a tie on. I'm driving. I had a red Monte Carlo. It's late at night. I used to keep a picture of a house next to my bed.
That was your dream house?
Yeah, and a Porsche. And so when my beeper would go off, and I didn't want to get up to make this delivery because everybody was $50, $100 or whatever. But I look at that house and that Porsche, and I go, I got to make that move.
All right.
I got to make that move. And the whole thing is, it was about supply and demand. And I was like, I'm never running out. So that was my thing. I was always going to have the product. And I was going to use the money to blow my businesses up. Because I did. I bought trucks for my carpet cleaning business. I had a nice office in the Ray Clark building on Buckingham. I opened up a Janet King service, and I was taking care of my family.
Okay.
That was number one. It was all about the family because I was basically the one who take care of my family. And my pops, he got shot by the police.
Wow.
Now, my pops was a real gangster. That's where I learned some of my street. Now, my pops was a gangster. He was a Muslim. We all was Muslims. But Pops, had this gangster side. And that's where I learned my salesmanship from his Pops. Because, he used to sell slum jewelry. You know what that is?
No, what is that?
It's like fake jewelry that look real. We used to buy it downtown. He used to take me with him. He used to get Longines watches, nice stuff. Diamonds, 3-strand diamonds. He would get the velour, like a hanky, but it was velour that you lay the stuff on. His game was tight.
So he was selling it as real.
Yeah. So he wouldn't sell to no black people, no Mexicans. He was only looking for white people, because he used to tell me, he was like, you can't sell to nobody that ain't looking, to get you.
Right.
They looking to get you. So we would drive. He would see some white people. He's like, hey man, can you handle anything like this? It ain't from around here nowhere. And they was, they think they getting him. They would Jew him down. Like, you got me this time, boss. But we riding away laughing, getting paid.
They think they getting over on the price.
They think they getting over.
They don't think he know what he got.
They don't even know.
Wow. Okay.
So we moved to Ohio, because when we moved to Ohio, I asked Pops, Moms, and I was like, why are we moving to Ohio? Because I think it was 73 or something like that, and the earthquake had happened. Like California going into the ocean.
Right, that big earthquake.
Yeah, later on I found out that Dayton, Ohio is a haven for criminals on the run.
All right.
And that's when we meet our other brother. Because when he went on the run, he must have had,
Another family.
Yeah, he started another family. But my mom's accepted him like he was hers. We just real family oriented like that.
Right.
But when we left there, I do want to mention this about Ohio. When I was there, I wanted to buy my sister Easy Bake Oven. Those was real popular then. And I was like, man, I got to get some money to get this Easy Bake Oven. Pops had left town. So I said, I'm going to get some bottles. They was like 5 cents.
Yeah. We hustled the bottles too.
Yeah. So I would get a basket and we would roll. And we lived in a white neighborhood. So every door I knocked on was some white people. And hey, I'm trying to get my sister an Easy Bake Oven. You got any spare bottles? Man, that turned into, I was making like $10 a day. And that was a lot of money back then for a little kid. The oven cost $15. So I was able to get the oven. Then I was like, man, I like this. So I used to go out I came up with new game. I was like, I'm trying to buy my mama a nightgown. All kind of stuff. Then my older brother got involved. We making money.
How old were you?
I was like 11.
So your hustling started young.
Started young. So matter of fact, we used to come back and tell these stories about these bottles. And one day, my little brother, and my little sister, they 6, 7 years old. I'm outside in the front playing, and 3 cars is coming. And it's this white couple, and they get out the car, my brother and sister, and the car is full of bottles. Like $300 or $400 worth of bottles. They got reprimanded, but we went and ate dinner that night.
So they went hustling.
And the
family gave them the bottle.
The family gave them
the
bottle and brought them home, man. It was some nice white people in Ohio.
Wow.
And you know what else about Ohio that I learned? So the gangs out there back then, it was the chain of Rap Brown and the chain of George Wallace. And you wore jean jackets and you would have Rap Brown or whatever, who was the brother politician, and George Wallace, of course, you know who he is. That was the white gang. But it wasn't no black on black. It was black against white.
Wow.
Yeah, out there. Everybody on the East Coast, what I found, was way more conscious about where they come from and the times and all of that than people on the West Coast.
Right.
I think they feel it more. It's still prevalent. The racism
back there,
yeah,
okay.
In Ohio and the South, and is prevalent. And when they're on the West Coast, racism is they high, but they stab you in your back when you turn around. Yeah.
And we got here and we start harming ourselves.
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah. We start harming ourselves.
Wow. So go back to your game though. When did you get in that game, selling that dope?
So I'm riding with him, and I end up working with him. He liked my van, because my van, I had a work van, I'm cleaning carpet, but at night I could take the equipment out. I had TV, refrigerator, and I had a couch I could put in there. It was just transformed to a night vehicle. And he liked my van. So he would take my van, have me make runs in his Cadillac. So I doing that, and then I found out, because he would call me. Now he calling me to drop off packages.
This guy you talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
So he was using. Yeah, so that's what had happened. So I end up taking over his customers.
Okay.
And he ended up breaking in my house, stealing my package. He the one told me where to hide it.
Wow.
Yeah.
He came and got it.
He came and got it.
He put you up on the game?
Yeah, he put me up on the game.
But he came back and robbed you too.
Yeah, he came back and robbed me.
Okay.
All his girlfriends became my girlfriends, just like in Scarface. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's that stuff is true. When that happened, when you succeed, like somebody, everything comes with it.
Right. Because you get power with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It did.
You felt the power.
I felt the power.
The man went the other way.
The power is intoxicating, my man.
It grabbed you.
It was more intoxicating than like drugs. It was the worst crack ever. That right there, that power. But when I started, like I said before, my whole objective was to build my businesses. My whole dream was to be a businessman, help my family and the community. My dream was I was going to be this CEO of, this large company helping everybody. And that was my plan.
Okay.
And I dressed the walk. I did it all. Even before I could afford suits, I had about 3 or 4 white shirts, 1 or 2 suits, some slacks, and a lot of ties. And I would mix it up. And my cousin thought my wardrobe was extensive.
50 suits.
Yes.
I got you.
But I was mixing it up, and I taught him that. And he used to work for RTD back then. And he ended up becoming like my right-hand man. And I just started blowing up. Like I say, once I got to the level where I was doing the blow up, once I did that, it was game over.
What is the blow up? We talking about blowing up cocaine?
Yeah. So, people used to cut the powder. They sell the powder cut. You cook it. And so say you buy $100 worth back then, but if you cook it, you probably get 7 grams when you're supposed to get, 7/10 of a gram when you're supposed to get a whole one.
Okay.
Because the impurities it cook away.
Right.
So the whole thing is, how can we cut that?
The impurities out.
How can we cut what's uncuttable?
Okay.
Once the hard part, because the hard part is pure. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is, in the beginning, crack was slang for a little piece. Man, just let me get a crack. Just crack me off a piece. That's
Makes sense.
It was just a slang, I swear to you. Like bump. Crack was bump.
Wow.
And they probably pulled somebody over or, harassed a junkie. And he's like, man, all I got is a crack. Oh, crack cocaine. They just made it up.
Wow.
Like they do everything else.
Well, it took on a whole different meaning.
It's hard. It's the same it's the same thing. Matter of fact, the powder part might have some impurities. And you cook it, it's the same thing. Now it's less because you got rid of the impurities. And they found out, well, what happened with me was I was serving some dudes in the jungle, and I was getting it pretty cheap myself that I could serve it like if I was buying a whole chicken, which used to be $24.5, $22.5 back then. And the guy in the jungle came back. Nobody was buying from me. And I only had select customers. And I went to the guy. I was like, what is it? He's like, man, I'm getting it for this price. And I was like, well, you ain't getting 28 grams because you cook it. It's less. He's like, no, sometimes it's 30. I go, what? So the word on the street that it was blow up.
Okay.
It was. So I'm asking everybody. I like to do research. So I'm putting the word on the street. What is this blow up? People telling me it's B12. It's baking soda. I experiment with all of them.
Oh, wait. So now I'm coming where the title came from, Cocaine Chef.
Yes, that's where
You
it
was
came.
a chef in that game.
I ended up being the chef in the game.
All right, well, keep filling us in.
Okay, so I'm putting the word out. I'm wasting my work trying to figure it out. And one of the guy who brought me in the game, one of the girls that was my girlfriend, was his, but we ain't together no more. But she's still, one thing, all the women I ever messed with, I'm still cool with them. Because I kept it 100. Anyway, I called her. She said her dude just got out. The word on the street was this dude got out. He was a jewelry store jacker, had put some work in for the Colombians. A lot of people were scared of him. But me, I don't fear no man but Allah.
Right.
So anyway, I call her. I say, I'm asking her, does she know about this blow up? And she go, well, my man know about it. I go, man, hook me up. So she said, I'm gonna send him up to your office. And we was outside. She said he on his way. And this big Bronco with no top, lifted, and a dude with a ponytail, pretty boy with the long hair, that's his, with a ponytail, with a tank top on, is pulling up. Whoa! And he pull up, but he was a cool dude. He was like, yeah, I know it. We can go get the stuff, so we make plans. I go over there, I take my brother with me, and I take what I have, and we're going to experiment. And so it's a formula, it's a process. We go through the process. At the end, I take the work. We took 8, made it 16. I took it back to that guy in the jungle. He loved it. I was back on, and matter of fact, so like I said, I never was really a person that sold to the street, right? I let some underlings do it, if they had customers. I tried to sell big packages.
Okay.
So when the mix started, then the word started getting out because it's cheap. I'm undercutting the whole market. So I'm on the west side, my boy is on the east side, and so we say, man, I'm gonna start serving dealers. So I started serving dealers, it was 10 minimum, 2,500 each. You got to drop it off, and you can't even see the show. And I'm going to take that 10, make 20, and drop it off. And, man, I had a factory. I had safe houses, a house with just a big, giant Pyrex.
Okay.
Because I'm cooking 500 grams at a time.
Wow.
That's what blew people's mind. I'm throwing 500 in there, then I'm 500 with my mix, making it 1,000 grams.
So how many grams is a key?
1,000.
So you was cooking half a key.
I would make a half a key, 1 key.
Wow. The blow-ups blew it up to a whole key?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I did. And I was serving that, and I had money. I had safes all over the place, money everywhere. But I was blowing my business. I was putting my money in my business. At the same time, so I bought a house in Woodland Hills. Before the blow up, I'm living in Woodland Hills. And Z Best, you ever heard of that? Z Best Carpet Care?
Yep.
And Z Best now I'm doing my carpet clean. I'm trying to blow my business up using illegal money. And here this Z Best dude is off the chain.
Cracking. I remember.
Cracking. He lived around the corner from me in Woodland Hills. And come to find out he was working with the mafia.
Yeah, something happened with that guy.
Yeah, he was working with the mafia. No, What was
it, a Ponzi scheme?
It was a Ponzi scheme before it was a Ponzi scheme.
Okay.
He got on the stock market.
What he did was they was getting the credit cards. It was a credit card scam. The mafia would get all the fake credit cards, and they running it through his business like if he's doing these jobs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then he started doing fake contracts. Like he had $1 million contract, but that was all fake, man.
Wow, he got cracked, right?
He got cracked, but that blew my mind. I was like, wow, man, all of this stuff is going on. I'm not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
This was a time when you would use that money to do what you needed to do. Even the government at that time was involved in cocaine sales.
Do you think the government puts this on the street in our neighborhoods?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they did it in Oakland with the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
They distributed, and it overran the black community, and now they want to stop it because once it reached the suburbs.
Right.
The same thing with the cocaine. Long as it was in the black community, it was okay. They wasn't cracking down on it. They let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
They let it happen. They would wait till brothers got a lot of money and then go get that money.
Mm.
And whatever property they could get from that individual.
Right.
They would wait and let that happen.
So they was benefiting from the dealers.
Absolutely.
And making them start over.
Absolutely.
And keeping the money flowing.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of guys was, back then, would get pulled over. they'd have 60, 80,000 in their car, and they would just take the money.
Wow.
So it was a lot of corruption going on, even on the police side.
Yeah, that money will do that, man.
Yes, it will. The money is like it's addictive in and of itself.
Did you get addicted?
I was addicted to the power that it brought me, the prestige. You know, it wasn't the actual cocaine that gave me all of that. It was having the money,
right,
and the power. You know, I had a nice house. You know, when I go outside my house, I had a Wagoneer, a Corvette, a Mercedes Benz. I didn't know what to drive. I didn't know what I was going to drive every morning. You know,
all from the cocaine life.
Yes, and my businesses. You know, once I took the money from the cocaine life, my businesses were making money. I had my whole family working for me, making money.
Carpet cleaning?
Cleaning carpet. Yes, and I had a Johnny King service that I bought. It's like a franchise. When I was cleaning buildings like by the airport late at night, but that turned out to be a scam because they would get you the contracts because you would say you would go in and you would buy the franchise and you would tell them how much money you want to make and they would charge you this amount of money for that. But then what they do, they steal it after a while, say this person canceled. When I start going out there myself, when I get a complaint, I'm like, let me go. And I'm the kind of person that if I have a job, because I worked at Church's Chicken, you know, cutting chicken, all that. They used to have me in the freezer cutting chicken. But whatever I did, I made sure I was the best. I was the best at it. I was so good when I was working at Church's Chicken that the cleanup at night, they would call me, like another store would lose employees. They wouldn't have no employees to close the store. They would call me. Stacey, can you go over here on Western and Imperial? And I go and I put my boots on, put that water hose on, and see, I spray everything. And squeegee, I had a cold method. I spray everything. I'll be in and out. But like I say, whatever I did, I don't care what it was. If it's clean the toilet, I'm going to be that toilet is going to look like it was in the royalty.
So it sounds like you had a work ethic.
Definitely.
My work ethic.
I was a businessman.
Go ahead. Your work ethic was what?
My work ethic, even in the game, was, you know, of high quality. That's why I had good my prices sometimes was even higher than somebody else, but they wanted to deal with me. Number one, I was safe. I'm gonna make sure you safe. You know, I remember I used to, a dude, I ain't gonna mention his name, but he got killed. He was cool. A lot of people knew him, but I would go over his house to you know, do my thing or whatever, and he would tell his people, no, don't worry about him. Because I would have a driver, you know, I got a driver. I come in there, I'm suit and tie. I got a driver. I got a safe car. I got, you know, my stuff. I paid for safety, brother. You know, I paid for safety. I learned from those movies.
Yeah, I see. You did it all the way you seen. But now tell me this. Since you lived that way, what did it do to your soul? You say you're Muslim, so what did it do to your soul? Because to me, that spirit, no matter what it brings us in a materialistic form, it's bringing danger and it's snatching our soul. So where did you feel that?
That's a good question. I used a lot of excuses for what I was doing, like, because I felt like I wasn't dealing with the street. So I used excuses like, you know, somebody gonna do it, all kind of excuses. One day, it took a long time before the realization hit me. When it hit me, I happened to be in jail. I had just got arrested. I was in jail, and we was watching the Sally Jesse Raphael show, and it was this black family on there, and that it was children, the husband, the wife wasn't there. She was strung out, and they was talking about it, about, you know, what they was going through. And I was watching that, and it hit me that I was a part of that. No matter where I was stage-wise, that I contributed to that. There's no denying it.
Right.
I contributed to that. I'm under arrest. And I was like, my whole upbringing, everything about who I really was supposed, because I was a square dude, want to be a businessman. Mm-hmm. Got involved in the game and got involved in the trap. And man, I had to go to my cell, and I was crying, bawling my eyes out, bro.
Wow. Okay.
Bawling my eyes, and I made a determination. I made a conscious decision that not only was I gonna change my life to not, get back in trouble and come back to jail, but I was gonna actually give back.
Okay.
I'm gonna help some others. At this same time in jail, I make sure I got to get this part out, because I go to jail and the spiritual part of you when you get in there, because you by yourself. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking about everything. I was like, man, I'm a Muslim because I was raised like that. That's what they told me. I said, I want to check I got to do some research.
Right.
I got time. So I grabbed the Bible, I grabbed the Quran, I got the Old Testament, I ordered some books on religion, and I got this one book about science and Islam. And but I'm reading everything, and the Bible, when I read it, it's a lot of contradictions. First of all, I'm like, how could there be light? I mean, how could there be stuff growing, ain't no light? Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? That's like, I'm the first page I'm reading Revelation. I get confused right there, right? So, but anyway, now I got to get to the history of these religions. Mm-hmm. And, I want to know which one of these books is in its purest form. And when I study the Bible, I find out that the Conference of Nicaea, the Roman Emperor, I forget his name, Constantine. Mm-hmm. The Roman Emperor Constantine converts to Christianity. Oh. Because he could see he could use it as a political tool, because, it's a lot of Christians now. They was persecuting them.
Okay.
So he converts to Christianity. But he see that Christianity is all discombobulated at this time. It's all kind of books, all kind of different teachings, and he want to consolidate the power too. Mm-hmm. Because people don't know that, the Roman Empire collapsed, but it really didn't. It turned into the Roman Church.
Wow.
That's what people don't understand. So anyway, at this time, he calls the Conference of Nicaea. He called all bishop, preachers, everybody that's doing anything in the religion. It was 2 conferences. You can look it up. Don't take my word for it. And he brings all these people together to this conference and actually puts together the Bible.
Wow.
Taking books out, putting books in, making it for them to run the world.
So that's why they say books been left out.
Without question, because the Bible had many books. Barnabas, there's a lot of books out there that was written that didn't get included in the Bible, that Constantine put together. And so I read that, I don't like it.
A control tactic.
It's a control. So I investigate the Quran, and the Arabic is exactly what it is. It's no words change. If you change, you can't. If you try to change something in the Quran, they might come after you. Mm. You cannot change it, and it's ever living. So you read something in there. So I'm reading it, and it's talking about the birth, the pregnancy, the stages, the clot. And then I go to my science book. Now we're talking 1,400 years ago. Mm-hmm. And in the science book, it's just like that. When you're born, it's a clot. And it's in stages, 9 months. That's in there. It talk about in the book, because I like science.
Right.
So I need to reference stuff to the science. I need to prove I need proof. So it's a verse in there, and it's talking about the water. And it's like, by my command, I'm just paraphrasing, the two seas come together, but they don't mix. So I got this science book, and I'm reading about Jacques Cousteau. Jacques Cousteau is the one found out that seawater, when they meet, the seawater and the river water, that's fresh water, they right there, but they do not mix.
They're separate.
They stay separate.
They what?
They never intertwine.
Wow.
Yeah. And Jacques Cousteau became a Muslim after he found that out. A lot of people don't know that. But if you look at some of his old videos, they right there praying, going in Salat. And I was like, after all my research, I was like, I'm going to take my Shahada for real. And the deen is what really put me on the path to doing the right thing.
Okay.
Doing the right thing. Bro, I get to prison, I get 16 years.
That's what I was about to say. We skipped. Let's go back to how you got in prison.
Okay. So basically, I was getting ready to get out the game. I was about to retire.
What year was this?
This was 1989. Yeah, 89.
When did you get in the game?
80, 79.
You did about a 10-year stretch in the game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I did 10 years. And the crazy part is the only reason why I got busted is the dude I was buying from told on me or had a snitch in his operation. Mm-hmm. I didn't like him. I went over there, and, he had the Michael Jackson Jerry curl hanging down. He had the shirt open with the 3 or 4 chains. He was from Chicago. He just rubbed me wrong. I told my dude, I was like, man, if something happened, that dude telling everything. But he was already working for the feds.
Black guy?
Yeah. He was already working for the feds. But anyway, when I was in Alaska, when I got busted, I was setting up people. I was like setting up. I had an operation in Seattle and Anchorage. Mm-hmm. So I was setting up my boy in Seattle, where I would just have the package dropped off. I was getting out. I had the package dropped off, and this was just a stage of getting out the game. I was gonna do that for a little while, then just cut it off. I was going to Alaska, and I was setting up my boy for the same thing. But they was on me.
Wow, the
feds was on me. Yeah, the feds was on me. I left because they was on me. Matter of fact, I was riding, and we was in L.A., and we was in the Sable Station. It was me, and my younger brother, and my cousin. I said, man, the police is following us, man. But it was some undercover cars. And they laugh, and they smoking weed, laugh, talking, you tripping, man. So them same cars I'm riding, I'm seeing them. It's like, it's the little antenna coming out of where the speakers are. Mm-hmm. It's just a little bitty antenna inside the car where the speakers are. I was like, that's the police, man. But they ain't looking at me. It's 3 or 4 cars. So I'm on the 10, I get to the 605, I act like I'm ready to get on the 605. 2 cars go in front of me, both directions, the police cars.
Right.
So I jump back on the 10, get off, and take Valley. I lived in Walnut then, and I'm gonna take Valley to the house. Take Valley, jump on. They laughed at me, talking about I'm tripping. Before we got to the house, those 3 cars were back.
Wow.
Yeah, but I never used the phone, right? So I was like, I'm leaving town. And I'm really getting out now. I'm trying to get out the game. They own me. So I go to Seattle first, then Alaska. Now my baby mama is blowing my pager up. But I don't use the phone. I got a cell phone and everything, but I'm going to use the phone booth. So she blowing me up. I go to the phone booth, call her. They trying to find me. Mm. But I don't let nobody follow me. If you follow me, I'm left, right, all kind of stuff. I'm using what they call it anti-surveillance techniques. Counter-surveillance.
Okay.
So she calling me. So they said in the paperwork, it took them 3 days to find me. They waited, let me make a left or right, and just put a car there. And finally, on New Year's, 1991, 2001, on New Year's, they busted down that door.
Wow.
Yep. Now, they arrest me. They say, "Who are you?" I go, "I'm Maurice Bronson." Driver's license, everything. They go, "No, you Stacey Harper." I knew then the jig was up. I ain't used that name in years.
Yeah, you almost threw me. I was about to say, didn't he tell me, Stacey? Wait a minute, what?
When I went to Texas, when we went to Texas, all of us.
Story, how y'all came up with those names?
So when we go to Texas, the crew, we all pick names. I picked Bronson because I like Charles Bronson.
Okay.
My other buddy, he liked the Clarendon, so he became, and
Mark Clarence.
yeah, then
Y'all
you
got
had
celebrity
Dallas.
names.
Yeah, we had them names that we liked. It was crazy. And the girl I was with, they asked her her name, and she told them her fake name. They was like, "No, you are so as XYZ,"
Wow.
So they take me down, they separate us. They take me to an office. I'm at some big office, sitting behind the desk with the two marshals behind me. And I guess it's the prosecutor, the head federal agent, or whoever come in. And he's like, "Hey, we know that you haven't been messing with the Spanish black guy that I was buying from for 2 years." He said, "We know you ain't been messing with him. Who you been buying from?" I said, "Sir, I don't know what you're talking about." He said, "Man, we got your mother and your sister. You've been Western Union transfer with $400,000
Wow.
to your mother and your sister. They going to jail for money laundering if you don't help us." I said, "Mama and sister might be going to jail." Man, that dude jumped up. That dude was going crazy. He said, "You're never getting out. We got you hand to hand with 250 grams of crack." I'm going, I had stopped doing that so long, it wasn't even funny. I don't know what he's talking about. Get back to my cell. To jail. They take me to jail, get booked. I call a lawyer. And then I'm getting the discovery. And this 250 grams, what happened was about 2 or 3 years ago, my boy called me, because we ain't cooking no more, because my boy is in jail. Said, "Man, don't do it. The crack, they giving people, they gonna send you away forever. Don't do it." I said, "Okay, I ain't doing it." But one time, my boy called me that I'm buying from. He had somebody that wanted it hard. And could I come over there and cook it for him? Yeah, man, I come over there. He had a nice apartment on the west side. I go over there. They got the yak. And it was 250 grams. And he gave it to me to cook, and I threw it all in there. He was like, "Man, what you do? You ain't gonna cook one at a time?" I was like, "No, man, just throw it all in there, 250.
Wow.
Cook it, it come back 249.
That's what it came back to?
Yeah, that's how good I am, 249. So I cook it, and I don't even get paid. I'm just doing a favor. That was the feds. It was all the feds. They, like I said, he had the dude in his operation. What they wanted to do was get him for some crack, because that's gonna give you the most time. You understand?
Right.
So when they get me, there's nothing in where I'm at, right? I go to jail. They got me conspiracy. They know about some moves I made, so it's conspiracy, right? In Texas, Seattle, and Alaska. They knew I was in Hawaii. I was in Hawaii too. I had some problems out there. They said, "You had some
everywhere.
problems in Hawaii, huh?" I said, "Yeah." Some Hawaiians tried to jack me out there.
They knew this?
Yeah, because what happened in Hawaii was I was dealing with this Hawaiian guy, and he tried to jack me, right? And I ended up having to run, leave my rental-car, run, call the police. And they in my rental-car, they was thirsty, bro, because they took the rental-car and went. So when I got there, I went on a vacation package. But I had a pimp buddy who let me stay in his condo. So I go there on a vacation package, this hotel package. You get the rental-car, the hotel, everything, right? But I immediately moved to another spot. So when they jacking me, they like, "Where you stay?" I'm like, "I stay in the hotel." Where you work at? In the hotel. I'm thinking it's a LA Jack type of move. They gonna tie me up, make sure they go get, but none of that happened. They gonna take me with them.
Wow.
That's how I escaped. So, but anyway, I called the police. I'm in the police car. The police out there, they drive their own cars. So I'm in somebody's car, man, with the police radio. And on the radio, when I'm going to the police station, they go, a tourist just got jacked.
And that's you.
Yeah, that was me. So anyway, I ended up getting out of that. I just left. You know, I went to the police. They got him. They actually get these dudes at the hotel. They say, send a car to the hotel. I'm going, ain't no way these dudes will be at the hotel. Yeah.
Wow.
They was at the hotel. Arrest them. But they asking me questions. So all the police were white, right? That you see in Hawaii, they white. When I got downtown, to the police station, they put me in a little interview room. When I come out, all the detectives are Hawaiian. They all Hawaiian. They come in, so they start asking me questions. He asked me, was this a drug deal going bad? No, man, I got my car jacked. Like they knew. I said, no, okay, calm down. Just tell us what happened. I tell them, the car got jacked. They okay. We got him. We're going to bring him in. You make a statement. I'm like, man, I got to get out of here, right? So I said, man, I got to go get something to eat. I'll be back. So he gave me his card. You coming back? I said, yeah. But I left and went to the condo. Now, at the condo, there's a Jack in the Box. I used to meet the Hawaiian dude that jacked me at that Jack in the Box. That's where the car was. The hotel is 5 long blocks from that Jack in the Box.
Your car was there?
The rental-car that they jacked, because
Right.
they figuring I was meeting them there, that the hotel was close. But the hotel was far. I'm staying in the condo looking down at my car.
Wow.
So I called the police because I need my car. So I'm going to call them and tell them the car is here. And I call them and tell them the car is there. They, where you at? I was like, I'm in Ever Beach. You know, Ever Beach where the projects are out there. And I was like, I'm in Ever Beach. They was like, well, you know, why you being invasive? You need to come down here or we're going to let them go. I said, okay, I'm on my way. But I never went. Got rid of everything I had. And right before I left, I called he was a big old fat dude, right? The Hawaiian guy. He was so nice when I met him. But boy, when that Jack move came out, I saw his whole face contorted. He just turned into an evil villain. Wow. So, but before I left, I was at the airport. I called him. I said, yeah, you fucked with the wrong nigga. And I just hung up the phone. Boy, you know that word in forever, because I know where he live, you know what I mean?
You wanted to put some fear in him.
I just wanted to put some fear in him. So that happened. They say they knew about that. So my lawyer is telling me that I'm facing conspiracy in all of these places. That's 10 years, 10 years, 10 years, you know, added, and it's all together. So I go, okay. So he get the discovery, and then it come up, no, you cooked 250 grams for this guy. And then I'm reading something, I was like, this dude is snitching. Too, I don't have no facts, but because there's a lot of blacked out stuff, but I'm like, my man is even talking. I couldn't believe it. And first they had came with a deal for 10. I was like, 10 years? Are you crazy? Get the hell out of here. And then when the 250 came up with the discovery, no, bro, you looking at 20 to 30 years.
Took 10 away?
They took that 10 away. Then they was like, you looking at 30. And what's crazy, I was like, why am I looking at 30 years? But 250 grams.
That's 9 ounces?
250 grams, 8 ounces. But why am I getting such a because they turn it, multiply that times 100.
Because it's crack?
So that made it 25 keys. That's how they get you. So nobody was selling it. They ordered it in order to give a long sentence.
Okay, wait a minute now. You say they ordered it, so the guy you cooked it for, was he the Fed?
No, the feds, one of his dudes was the feds, was working with the feds. He was called a CI. And what happened was, hey man, what's crazy about these CIs?
But did he know that?
No,
Okay.
he didn't know that. Because the CI making money. The CI brought a couple of birds to Texas, brother. That ain't in no paperwork. You know, they messing, just like in the movies, they messing with the women, they making money. That shit is real.
But like you say, a confidential informant, so he's not a cop.
No, he's not a cop.
He just
I found out he turned in his own brother
Okay.
in Chicago and then came out here and was working for the feds.
Okay. So they put that $250 on you.
Yes, since I cooked it. They did it to get the dude I was buying from. So they get him on it and me too.
You was a bonus.
I was just a bonus. That's all I was a bonus, dog. They didn't know nothing about me, bro. I was undercover. I've been, my whole career in the game, I was undercover. Even to the streets. They knew my brother more than they knew me. They would see me in my car and go, "Where's your brother?" "That's his car, ain't it?" I go, "Yeah, this is."
Younger brother?
Yeah, him right
your younger
there.
brother?
Yeah.
That was your younger brother too?
Yeah, he was the baby.
You the baby brother?
Him, I used to buy quads for and the Suzuki Jeep. He was a spoiled brat.
So they was in the game too?
No, he wasn't. He was a baby, but he was. I told him, I had my cousin working with me, and I was like, "Man, I need you to go to school, brother. Get the college degree. Because I want my family, sister, all of them go to college. I'll take care of everything." Mm-hmm. But he wouldn't let me. He was like, "No, I need to have your back, man." And he wouldn't do it.
How many years y'all apart?
Like 4 or 5 years. Yeah, a lot. So, because he would kind of watch me, you know, coming up, and was like, "No, man, I need to have your back."
He was your protector.
He was my protector. Even my man who had got out that I ended up doing the mix with, we was doing a show, and he looked at my brother and said, "Man, if something happened to him, you the one gonna come get me, huh?" Yeah, he was like, "Yeah." Yeah.
So you ended up getting time for this case.
Yeah, so that was my case, was that 250 grams. But on the news, so I'm getting ready to get bail. They call a bail hearing. I'm paying this girl, mama, some money to come. And Alaska is third party. If the third party come and they say you can go. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting ready to go. January 8th was that hearing in Alaska. And I go, and it's looking good. The judge was cool. He liked me. He was cool. He was like, "Okay," the prosecutor was on it because I had got busted. I always had a gun. I had 3, 4. Gun was like a misdemeanor back then. $50 bail. So I had a bunch of gun cases. And they showing it. You know, you got guns, it's violent from LA, you know, adding a 20 on it.
Right.
And yeah, I know all that. He can come. And so I'm looking good. I'm going back to, you know, jail. Like, I'll probably go get out tomorrow. That morning, about 4 o'clock, they come and get me. I'm on a chain gang on the bus going to state court. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So they got us in the back. They come take us out. When they open that door, bruh, behind where the people sit is nothing but press. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I'm hiding behind the dude. I don't know what's going on. I'm hiding behind the guy that's with me, but they don't know who I am. They don't know who they looking for. They waiting for the judge to call the name. So they put us all in the jury box. And when they call my name, I'm this way, and the pictures is going up. Now I know they there for me. And the judge said some charges that was trumped up, not guilty, and all of us went in the back. At 4 o'clock, we go back to jail. They taking us back to the jail. When we get off the bus, the sergeant is waiting for me. And the sergeant go, "Hey, man, there's some press here. You want to talk to him?" I go, "No, I don't want to talk to nobody." So he take me back. Now it's just me and him going back to my dorm, module, whatever. When I get in the module, I'm a celebrity. The news is on. They got Crips and Bloods being arrested on the street, but they talking about me. They say this guy's the leader of the Muslim Crips. And they showing gangbangers getting arrested. They was like, he's a kingpin linked to the Medellin cartel. They showing tables of cocaine. They said I was making $30 million a month. They showing tables full of cocaine, like they had got that from me. Tables full of money, like if that was.
And that wasn't your stuff?
No. When they came in on me, they got nothing.
So they was pumping it up.
It was all hype. That's why when Donald Trump came out with fake news, I was like, because I know it happened to me.
You was a Muslim Crip?
No.
How you throw that up?
They did it to not.
Look at him.
He just being facetious.
Oh, okay. Can I throw something up, man? You cold, man. That was cold.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Bronson. Go ahead. Tell me.
Bronson. He called me Bronson.
Why I ain't got two names in here?
You got two now. Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Stacey.
So that's how I got cracked. That right there.
And how much time did you get?
They gave me 100. So this is how they give it to you. They give it to you in months. So they said you sentenced to 195 months. That's 16 and a half years.
Did that buckle you?
No, it didn't really. That's what I wanted to talk about too. So I get this sentence, go back, and people looking at me like, they couldn't understand it. Even when I got to, so that's jail. They got jail and they got prison. It's two different worlds. When I get to prison, I don't really talk. I'm to myself, and a dude might ask me, well, how much time you got? And I would tell him, and he would, man, you walking around here like you going home the next month. You program, because I'm just learning, educating my mind. I'm taking every class, whatever it was. I got books coming in. I'm just on a mission.
Wow.
And people would ask me, what's your secret? It was the deen. It was my Islam, bro.
That was your secret.
Because after I started studying, I was like, okay, you did this. Then pay your price, brother.
You found the peace within.
I found the peace within, and I told myself, first of all, I was going to learn a new word every day. But after I got to reading them books, and I'm going to tell you, it's a book called Kaffir Boy. Man, that dude used some big words in that book, bro. So I had to get my dictionary. But after I finished reading that book, it put me on a whole nother level. It put me on a whole nother level of reading, of learning words, because I feel like now I could be an etymologist, because just when you have to look up a word, right? You got to look up a word, then you find out where it come from, the root,
word,
and all kinds. That's the etymology of the word. You understand what I'm saying? So, I was breaking it down, and I went to myself, this right here is my weapon. You want to know that? You want to beat your enemy? Learn his language. Use his language against him. And that's what I've been doing. After I learned, I was like, man, I learned. I'm talking about, brother, I learned.
Right.
I feel like, I'm definitely an erudite.
Which is a what?
It's self-learned, self-educated.
Wow.
Because I know the history. I can tell you from the beginning of what happened to the end. Like, for example, when we went to school, they told you about the Romans, the Greeks, the Romans, the Dark Ages, right? And the plague and all of that. Then the Renaissance, when Europe became out of the Dark Ages because they was believing in superstition, witches, and all that stuff. Did you know, at this same time that the Moors had came to Spain and took over, was there for 700 years? Brother, when the fiefdoms was going on in Europe, fiefdoms was, they would have, so the person with the money had the house with the gate around it, and the peasants were right outside of it that worked for them, right? Those people were sending their kids to Spain. bro, what people don't know, and they would have a lot of pride, is we saved the Caucasians 2 times. We taught them how to cook, start a fire, cook, raise plants, because all they was eating was the woolly mammoths. That movie 10,000 BC got a lot of truth in it. Watch it. Got a lot of truth in it. We showed them that. The Africans showed them how to do that. Then, the Greeks. Then the Greeks learned all their stuff from the Egyptians, right? And claimed it for themselves. Then the Romans came, right? Used the Greek, the Romans. The Romans were powerful. They was good. Before then, it wasn't no black and white. It was you was from these places.
Right. Okay.
Let's get that straight. So then after the Romans was the collapse, then the Roman collapse and the Dark Ages. White people wasn't bathing. They believed in witches. The forest had all kind of spookinesism. At this time, the Moors had came over, took over Spain, and the people in Spain welcomed them. They started universities. They invented glasses, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the concept of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all kind of stuff. And those people were sending their kids to these schools. Look up the Mosque of Cordoba if you ever get a chance.
Yeah, text that to us because we're going to forget.
I'm going to text that to you.
We got it on camera. So.
You got it on camera. Look up the Mosque of Cordoba.
Right.
Look up the Muslims in Spain. And you will learn a lot about your own history. How we almost changed the course of history. When you watch those movies a long time ago, when they got the Crusaders fighting against the Saracens, do you know who that was?
Who?
Them was Muslims.
You schooling us, brother?
Those are Muslims we used to watch in the movie, but we was for the Crusaders. But they was actually fighting the Muslims because the Muslims was getting ready to take over all of Europe until the French, I forget his name, a bad French dude, he was a bad dude, went to the Pope and said, man, you need to give me some money so I can train these farmers to be soldiers, so I can stop the Muslim aggression. And he did. And that stopped it. That changed everything. That changed history. And once Queen Isabella, she was just she just loved Christianity. Mm-hmm. And the love of Christianity was her hatred of the Muslims and the blackness in Spain. And her whole thing was what did they call it? They called it the acquisition, what they call it? It was something, but they was to get rid of the Muslims and the black people out of Spain. And they did. That's why the Spanish, they Europeans. Don't get it twisted. But they got dark skin because of the African influence. Mm. But they end up getting rid of all the black. They tried to erase the blackness. But if you go there, it's everywhere to be seen. We were in Spain for 700 years. Wow. And I think, me personally, because Portugal and Spain are the catalyst for the slave trade, that might have been revenge for the Muslims being over there for so long. So when black people went in a little bit of a decline, they took advantage of it. They took advantage of it and used the church to justify it. The Pope, that's when, first of all, it's you can look this up. I don't remember the German dude's name, but he's the first guy that came up with the concept of black and white. Whiteness. Because before that, like I said, it wasn't that, it was where you was from. You were Moor, you were Dutch, Danish, German, whatever. That's what it was. It wasn't no whiteness.
Wasn't no color to it.
It wasn't no, what I got to say, it wasn't no whiteness, no superior, right? But once white people went around the world and saw that the rest of the world had color, that's when they started changing the narrative. Because really, they're the ones that's lacking a gene. They the ones that don't have melon. They really albino. They are, they something different. And when they found that out, and then they find out that really the black man is the original man, the original human. The black woman's mitochondrial DNA is the DNA of all the human race. She can produce any race. She's the only woman that can do that. She is the mother of mankind.
Wow. That's deep, bro. We ain't went from the cocaine chef to a history lesson right now, my people. He ain't schooled us. He ain't put us on something. Wow, man, I appreciate
That's the
you,
evolution
bro.
I went through.
Now, I appreciate you because what you're showing is this is what we're here for, to bring the black man back.
That's right.
And what you doing, you went to the prison system and you used that for your advantage. So now think of every black man in that system use it the way you used it. You got set down, use that to learn. Be the spook that's set by the door.
That's right.
Bro, this is lovely, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I want to give it back. I want everybody to know. And that's why I'm going to start a new line, and it's called Expose. And I'm going to spell it X space P-O-S-E. Now, the word expose in and of itself is have 1,000 meanings. All of them are uncover the truth, tell the truth, unveil. And that's what I want to do. I want to unveil the whiteness the whitewash that has been done to history. It's been whitewashed. And a lot of stuff is under the rug. A lot of people don't know, bro, that cell phone, a brother made the key components to the cell phone.
Wow.
Your GPS, a black woman created that in the GPS, bro. We don't even know all these things. The doorknob. Before the doorknob, bro, they was ropes and stuff. A brother invented the doorknob.
Wow.
A sister invented the alarm system for your house.
Man.
A sister invented your furnace, your central air. There used to be fireplace, and you'd have to get in front of the fireplace. This sister made central heating, furnace with the ducts in every room. A black lady did that. We innovators, brother. We are the cream of the planet Earth, and we're gonna rise to the top again.
I feel you, brother. You done took my soul, man. I feel it. You got me over here shaking, man. I mean, wow, Stacey, Bronson, Harper, whatever it is, you took me there, brother, and I appreciate this, man. I want every black man to pay attention to this.
Thank you.
I want you to get out there and keep talking. I want you to show our people, even if you sitting in that cell, someone's sitting there telling you how you took advantage of it. You turned it on them, bro. I'd have buckled. 199 motherfucking, oh, man, I'm about to buckle now. And you took it, bro, standing up.
Yeah.
But look what it did to you. You came out of this, and you're moving on up.
You know, I was telling myself every day in there, this is just a chapter. This is not going to define who I am. And you can't let things define who you are. You got to do that yourself. You got to bring it out of yourself. Who are you?
Oh, you a Mandela kin? Nelson Mandela. I mean, he did them 27 like you did.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you this, my brother. All of us, everybody is not the same. There's some chosen ones.
Bro, give me one on that. Give me one on that.
I got to give it up.
You
Because,
right.
some people, they can settle for mediocrity. I just ain't that one.
Man, but that lesson you kicked, that's true. We all not the same.
We're not the same, bro.
We got to start accepting that.
Yeah, you got to treat everybody different. I learned that, bro, because I have many businesses, and I have a lot of employees, and you want to treat everybody the same, but it don't work like that. If you want to get production out of people, learn them and learn how to deal with them as an individual.
Wow. You schooled us today, bro. We gonna sign out of here today,
Okay.
man, and we're gonna have to come back with a part 2 on this.
Okay.
Because you
Anytime.
schooling us, and the people need to hear this, man. This needs to be in the system.
Okay.
The man that's sitting there fighting in that prison system, not knowing he's trapped, he can release himself by you telling him because you've been there.
Yes, sir.
What you showing him is your wounds became your wisdom. And that's what we got to show the people, bro.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to sign out of here, man. More love, more life. But I got one more question for you. To you, what is more love?
More love is giving back, loving others as you love yourself. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something that I believe is a serious problem, is we don't love ourselves. I had to learn how to love myself. And you can't love nobody else if you don't love yourself, because you don't even know what love is if you don't love you. Love you enough not to put harmful things in your body. Love you enough to exercise every day. Love you enough to get in touch with your own spirituality.
All right.
Love yourself. Love yourself enough to take care of yourself, because your body and your mind is your temple. Take care of it.
Wow. That's beautiful, brother. We're going to sign out of here. Know thyself, and you will know God. Peace.
Peace.